Imagine setting out for a peaceful hike, surrounded by nature, only to vanish without a trace. No bodies, no clues, just an eerie silence. What truly happened to the hikers who disappeared in the wilderness, leaving behind a mystery that chills to the bone? This is the chilling case of the vanishing hikers, a true crime mystery that will keep you up at night. It's a story that unfolds not in some far-flung, forgotten corner of the world, but in a place many of us would consider a perfect weekend getaway. The details of this case are so perplexing, so utterly strange, that even seasoned investigators are left scratching their heads, staring at a puzzle with half the pieces missing. The story you're about to hear is a stark reminder that sometimes the most beautiful places hide the darkest secrets. And for the families of those who walked into the woods and never came out, the silence that followed is the most terrifying sound of all. The disappearance began on what should have been an unremarkable Saturday in October 2023. The setting was the sprawling, majestic Blackwood National Forest, a popular destination known for its rugged beauty and well-marked trail system. Our hikers, a young couple named Liam and Chloe, were experienced outdoors enthusiasts. They had spent months planning this specific trip, a challenging but rewarding 3-day trek along the famous Serpent's Ridge Trail. They were meticulously prepared, with top-of-the-line gear, plenty of food and water, and a detailed itinerary left with Chloe's sister, Sarah. Their plan was simple: hike to a designated backcountry campsite by evening, spend a night, and check in via their satellite messenger by 9 p.m. The first signs of trouble were subtle, easily dismissed as a minor delay. When 9 p.m. came and went with no message, Sarah wasn't immediately alarmed. Liam and Chloe were resourceful. Maybe they'd set up camp late or had a weak signal. But as the hours ticked by, a quiet unease began to creep in. By the next morning, with still no word, that unease had blossomed into full-blown panic. Sarah contacted the park rangers, and within hours an immediate search effort was mobilized. Family, friends, and local volunteer search and rescue teams descended on Blackwood National Forest, their faces etched with a mixture of determination and dread, hoping to find the couple before the unforgiving wilderness did. As the search expanded from hours into days, the few clues that were found only deepened the mystery, painting a picture that was both baffling and deeply unsettling. The first significant discovery was Liam's backpack, found nearly 2 miles off the marked Serpent's Ridge Trail, propped neatly against a large boulder. Inside, investigators found his wallet, keys, and a half-eaten energy bar, but his phone and the satellite messenger were gone. The placement of the bag was bizarre. It wasn't dropped as if in a fall, nor was it hidden. It was placed deliberately, almost as if it were a marker. A few hundred yards from the backpack, searchers found Chloe's hiking boots, placed side by side at the edge of a fast-moving creek. There were no signs of a struggle, no scuff marks, and most disturbingly, no footprints leading away from them. The ground was soft and muddy, perfect for tracking, yet the earth around the boots was eerily undisturbed. It was as if she had simply floated away. The only potential witness account came from an elderly birdwatcher who had been near the trailhead on the morning Liam and Chloe started their hike. He recalled seeing the couple, but also mentioned a lone man in a dark green jacket trailing them at a distance. He couldn't provide a clear description and admitted he didn't think much of it at the time, as the trails were often busy. The reliability of his sighting was questionable, but it added a sinister new layer to the investigation. Compounding the confusion were the environmental factors. On the second night of their planned hike, an unseasonal and violent thunderstorm swept through the region, dumping inches of rain that turned gentle streams into raging torrents, and likely washed away any potential tracks or evidence. The storm not only complicated the search, but also added a ticking clock, as the chances of survival in the cold, wet conditions plummeted with each passing hour. With no bodies and a trail of bizarre, contradictory clues, theories and speculation began to swirl, ranging from the plausible to the paranormal. The most straightforward theory was that of an accident or misadventure. Perhaps Liam and Chloe had a disagreement, or one of them suffered an injury. Maybe Liam left his pack to go for help, and Chloe, disoriented, attempted to cross the creek and was swept away. The storm would have then covered their tracks and sealed their fate. It was a tragic but logical explanation. However, it didn't account for the strange, deliberate placement of their belongings. It felt too neat, too staged for a frantic life-or-death scenario. This led investigators down the darker path of human involvement. The witness account of the man in the green jacket fueled speculation of foul play. Was he a random predator who stalked them on the trail? Or was it someone they knew, a more sinister plot disguised as a hiking trip? The idea of an abduction seemed plausible, especially given the lack of any physical evidence of a struggle. Perhaps they were forced off the trail at gunpoint, their belongings left behind as a form of misdirection. But why leave the wallet? And why take a satellite messenger that could be tracked? The questions only bred more questions. Then there were the whispers of the supernatural and unexplained. Blackwood National Forest had its own share of local legends, stories of a whispering man who was said to lure hikers from the path, their voices later heard as faint echoes on the wind. While law enforcement dismissed these tales, some locals and online sleuths latched onto them. They pointed to the lack of footprints and the bizarre staging of the gear as evidence of something beyond human comprehension. In the vacuum of hard evidence, these chilling folk tales offered a strange, terrifying kind of answer to a question that had none. As weeks turned into months and months into a year, the active search for Liam and Chloe was officially suspended, leaving behind a lingering mystery that has had a devastating impact on those they left behind. For their families, the lack of closure is a unique form of torment. Every phone call, every knock on the door, brings a flicker of hope that it might be news, only to be extinguished into the familiar ache of uncertainty. Chloe's sister, Sarah, has become a tireless advocate, running a social media page dedicated to the case, sharing photos and memories, refusing to let the world forget them. She speaks of the unending grief, a wound that cannot heal because there is no finality. It's the hope, she says, that is the cruelest part. The investigation, now a cold case, remains open. Detectives periodically review the files, hoping that new technological advancements might reveal something missed. They've reanalyzed the GPS data from Liam's car, which showed them arriving at the trailhead, and nothing more. They've cross-referenced missing persons reports from a 5-state area, searching for any connection to the mysterious man in the green jacket, but to no avail. The case of the vanishing hikers continues to captivate and haunt the public, becoming a modern folklore legend in true crime communities. Podcasts dissect the evidence, YouTubers produce documentaries exploring every theory, and online forums debate the significance of the backpack and the boots. The story has an enduring fascination because it taps into a primal fear, the idea that you can do everything right, be fully prepared, and still be swallowed whole by the unknown leaving behind nothing but a few confusing clues and an unanswerable question. While the chilling case of Liam and Chloe offers no easy answers, it serves as a powerful reminder of crucial lessons and warnings for anyone who ventures into the wilderness. The most important takeaway is a renewed emphasis on hiking safety. Always tell someone your exact plan and stick to it. Carry multiple forms of communication, like a satellite messenger and a personal locator beacon, and know how to use them. Be prepared for the unexpected. Pack extra supplies and be acutely aware of your surroundings at all times. This story underscores that even the most experienced hikers are not immune to danger. Beyond practical safety, this case also highlights the profound psychological impact of cold cases on communities and investigators. For the small town bordering Blackwood National Forest, the disappearance left a scar. Trails that were once a source of joy are now tinged with caution and a hint of fear. For the detectives involved, an unsolved case like this becomes a ghost, a professional failure that lingers in the back of their minds for their entire careers. It's a heavy burden, a puzzle they feel compelled to solve, not just for the sake of justice, but for the peace of the families trapped in limbo. Finally, we want to extend a call to action to you, the viewer. The power of collective awareness is immense. If you have any insights, theories, or have heard of similar stories in your local area, share them in the comments below. Fostering a community of engaged, observant individuals can sometimes be the key to shedding new light on a cold, dark mystery, because somewhere out there, the truth of what happened on Serpent's Ridge is waiting to be found.